Hi, it's so nice that you're here to quickly get brainted with me. I'm your host, Laura, and welcome to my Mindful Storytelling podcast. Hello, and welcome to a Quickly Get Brainted episode. Today, as the title already spoiled you, we are going to talk about New Year's resolutions and to quit alcohol or not. So, if you're in for a treat, let's have fun. Alrighty, so New Year's. I don't know if you're going to listen to that episode on this New Year week, but I thought because of a little bit of egotistical and personal reasons, I would love to talk about it and maybe you have thoughts you want to share. So New Year's resolutions. I mean, it's a big topic. I think it's so hard to decide on a New Year's resolution. I'm not doing it personally anymore because I have the feeling I'm just pressuring myself into insanity. And you don't want to put even more pressure on yourself in times like this right now, I guess. Some people think that it works for them, but I think it's a hard topic. For example, you want to be a vegan, or you want to quit alcohol, or you want to quit smoking and whatever. I mean, it's one day in a year and you're like, okay, this is going to be the day. Maybe you're mentally not even prepared. And then if you're feeling better and you're getting used to a healthier relationship with the problematic whatever issue, you maybe will just go back to it. And then you start from the top, and then you're in it again at the end of the year. So people, why pressuring? And why New Year's resolutions don't work, in my opinion, I think we're going to figure out today. Alrighty, so it's about quitting alcohol or not. Well, let me tell you, you're not alone. And as I said, I really want to elaborate that more because I have the feeling I have so many people in my life right now who are struggling with exactly that same thing. And also I struggled with it when I was only 18 years old. I was 18 years old. I mean, I don't know, you're loose, you're out of control sometimes, but in a healthy, normal way. And you drink alcohol and you want to have fun, and then you realize something, that you're loosen up and that you're even more fun. And that sucks because it's a good feeling. And this is what alcohol does with us most of the time, or what it did with me. It gave me a very good feeling. Alcohol was somehow a nice and easy way to access my cozy and loving side of myself. And when I was partying and I was drinking, I was a much more charismatic person. I don't know, because there were so many people bonding with me and I had no problem bonding with them. And then I realized something. Oh my, maybe I need this to be more accessible or to be more fun or maybe to even be a better socializing partner. But people, let me tell you, it's not. Because the way I grew up the last years and got older, I just realized that I just did not know myself very well. And this episode is totally not going to be an please quit alcohol. You do you, you do you. And I support that. If you're having a healthy relationship with yourself, you can do it. I don't care. It's really not about that I want to convince you to quit. I'm drinking alcohol. I have a lot of friends who are quitting it or want to quit. So we're totally reflecting both sides. So don't be scared. Alrighty. So as you know, I will be interviewing myself. Basically, I would just ask a question and then try to answer it thoroughly. Alrighty. So let's begin, shall we? So why should someone consider quitting alcohol at all? And why should we, beyond the typical health benefits, look at how it could impact our mental well-being? Okay, so my opinion, I think if you're quitting alcohol, it can be a very transformative journey. I mean, not even for physical health that you won't wake up maybe with a hangover or whatever, but you will have a better mental clarity and mindfulness about yourself if you're not, under a somehow influence by something external. You're influenced by something external. Some call it a drug, some call it just unhealthy issue. So it allows you to rediscover your true self, and you could find joy in social situations and, without relying on a drink. So you feel somehow better and you feel free from your own influence that you're doing to yourself. And if you experience the full moment and you're being present and cultivate genuine connections with other people, you have the feeling that it was really all you and not by the help of something else. If you're struggling with that topic, you will know what I mean. Okay, so my other question would be, there are so-called blue zones. And what do you think is the connection between these zones and the appreciation of alcohol? All right. First of all, the definition of a blue zone, if you don't know it, it's a region where people tend to live longer and live healthier lives. Interestingly, there are many blue zones all over the world, in Japan or in south side of Italy. Many of these people who are living there, especially most of the time very old people or seniors in these areas, have a shared common love for enjoying a glass of wine or the local spirit, which is so funny because if you want to check it out, you can just look it up on YouTube, and there are so many great traveling documentaries about that. I personally love to watch the episodes of Yesterday where they discover the blue zones. It's very wholesome all over. It always reflects that the people are sharing every day, maybe a glass of wine, but it's totally not the alcohol itself. It's this communal laughter. They're always laughing and they're partying so much, and making social connections. Of course, they know each other. I mean, like, they're very old. I mean, if you're 100 years old and you live on a very sweet little tiny Japanese island, you will be healthy, not because of the alcohol, but because of everything else. And I guess it's the habit of spending time outdoors, because that's what the old sweet lady in the video said. And I guess that's totally true, because I feel so much more energized when I'm outdoors and when I'm laughing. Like, I guess that's one of the ways to live a healthy and long life. And yeah, it's just a cherry on top for them. So yeah, blue zones are the perfect answer why you can drink alcohol in a healthy, measured way. Okay, cool. I think that's very interesting with the blue zones. We all should consider us very lucky if we can live in a zone like that, and maybe even create one. So another question here on a personal note: how do you navigate your relationship with alcohol given your health considerations? Oh, yes. So here's my answer, and it's a big one because it's getting very personal. Well, I have to be very mindful about my health. And this is limiting my alcohol consumption big time. Occasionally, I love a drink for the taste, rather than the effect. As I was beginning this episode, I totally get the positive effect sometimes on me, but I don't like it because I'm learning so much about mindfulness, and somehow I don't want to be helped by anything to be my true charismatic self, which is a little bit more loose than it maybe is when I'm not drinking, whatever. But at the very, very big top, it's because of my physical health. I have a lot of issues with my stomach and my gut, and also with my skin, and overall my mental health. And I never had problems when I was drinking, so it didn't affect my mental health as much as maybe one of my friends, which were always very hypersensitive then, and very depressed and sad and full of anxiety, and it triggered alcohol because, it maybe brings your guards down. But at the same time, if you're always living a life of denial, which is not absolutely the worst or whatever, but it's not good. It's not healthy. It's not what you want for your life to be. And then when you drink, you can't keep those walls up, even inside of yourself. So all these very bad and anxious thoughts score around in your head. And then you have to think a lot about it even more, because it turns you in, and then you have to face the truth, because alcohol loosens up. And for some people in a positive way, like for me, and for some people in a very bad way. And if you have childhood traumas, maybe seeing one of your parents being very drunk and, not nice to you, or maybe even in the worst cases, aggressive and whatsoever, you will have for life. I will put my hand in fire. You will have for life a very bad relationship with alcohol. Of course, like with everything else, and if you're not reprogramming or doing anything against that you will resolve that trauma, you will never have a good time. And sometimes I have that too. It's a very mixed feeling because, as I mentioned, I like the taste, but I don't like it what it does to my body. And because of very bad health matters, also it's affecting my bladder and my all over being, gut-wise and whatsoever, in a very bad way. I don't like to drink regularly or a lot. And now for a few years, I try to reduce it only on very, very special occasions. And I can totally define the occasion. It can be like nothing crazily big happened, but it was a good week and I want to celebrate that with a glass of wine in my favorite restaurant, whatever it is. You can totally go for that. Okay, that was very personal. So let's go to the next question. What's your take on finding a balance between enjoying alcohol occasionally and quitting altogether? Oh, wow. That's a big one as well, because I had the feeling I was just rambling about what I like and what others maybe don't like. So I would say it's a delicate balance, because for some, quitting might be the best choice for a healthier lifestyle. I know it was not for me, but maybe it will with the time. But I totally get if some people are, for example, in the whiskey business and they enjoy their own homemade whiskey. And then if they're my friends and I will be like, yeah, you want to try? I would be like, yeah, totally. Because I'm in luck. I'm not an ex-alcoholic suffering from that deeply trauma of an addiction. So I can say I can just try it. But I want to quit to drink in social gatherings. And this is, a more specific way to quit or on certain occasions. So you can define how do you want to stop that. You should not drink alone at home. Don't misunderstand me now. This is not what I want to tell you. It was just an example. If you're struggling with the feeling that you always have to drink in social gatherings, then you can just stop because the struggle will never go away. And you can totally share with me the way that you found if you want to. I'm here to learn as well. So yeah, maybe some find joy in the occasional moderation. But I have the feeling the key is being mindful about everything, as you should know by now, and knowing when to say no and creating a healthy relationship with alcohol without being pressured or comforting social norms. I think this is the way to go. You really have to find your reason why you want to quit or part of it, whatever. Okay, that's a good one. And now the last question. In a grand scheme of things, is it better to quit and be done or to navigate the tricky path of moderation? Okay, that's a good question. Like I somehow tried to answer it before. Altogether, I have the feeling it's a personal journey and you're not alone. We all have people in our lives who maybe considered it already or who are drinking regularly and you feel somehow you don't belong. So I'm here because I struggle between all these two things and I just have to make it personal, I can't tell you what to do, but I also can't tell you what to do. And whether you decide to quit or find a moderate balance, I have the feeling the key to align your choices with your well-being is the most important one. So listen to your body, be mindful, understand your emotions and your relationship with alcohol. And most importantly, stay true to yourself. I think that's all. And for a closing question, I want you to consider this. What is your alcohol? What is your attitude towards alcohol? Have you found something that works for you? I would love you to share these thoughts and we could continue this mindful conversation. But I also want to give you a sentence on the way, which I read in one of my favorite books. It's called You're a Badass at Making Money from Jen Sincero. And she is so cool. I love how she writes. I don't know personally. I wish I could, but I don't. So she just said in one of her topics, she's mentioned that if somebody gives you a hard time that you want to quit something, and she was bringing up the example of alcohol, and I thought this is maybe a good episode to share that. She said, you just tell the people, like, I don't sniff glue. I don't drink. End of story. And I thought it was so funny because it's like, don't let the people give you a hard time. If you want to drink occasionally or you just like the taste or you want to quit altogether and your environment is making it hard on you, my God, please just quote Jen Sincero. Just tell them that they should back up and it's your personal journey and your personal story. So you're going to navigate through it. As I said, you're not alone, so you should not worry. And another very little short thing, if you want to deep dive a little bit more about these topics and also have a fun episode to listen to, you should totally check out the episode with Tom Holland and Shetty on purpose, because they're talking about how they quit, both of them. And it's very inspiring. This is actually the thing that inspired me to do this episode. Yeah. I hope you had fun. I would love if you share your thoughts, and if it helped altogether listening to this episode. You have no idea, but I would be filled up with joy. And I wish you a wonderful beginning of the year, or middle of the year, end of the year, whenever you listen to this. And you're all very loved. And I hope to hear from you soon. Bye.